Welcome back to another Pokemon Falling Friday, your one-stop shop for all your Pokemon information. We go through last week's sales of sealed Pokemon products and Pokemon cards that are currently going down in price. And we do also cover any big Pokemon news, like cards are set to get revealed. And if I do see any good deals, I always try to throw them in here too. But before we get started, we do have to give thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is ARIZONATCG. If you guys have a couple graded cards or a ton of graded cards you're looking to sell and you don't want to deal with a bunch of people lowballing you, ARIZONATCG is perfect. You just send them all your graded cards. They will handle everything. They're going to take professional scans and they're going to post it to their massive weekly eBay auctions. And the best part about all this is they charge almost the exact same amount as if you started your own eBay store. But this eBay store already has 100% positive feedback with over 10,000 cards sold. And it does not have to be just Pokemon or PSA. It could be whatever you want. So definitely check them out. All the links are in the description. All right, let's get to it here. Hopping to PokeBeard says, highly anticipated Team Rocket set likely to be revealed this week. Based on past trends, we expect Japan's The Glory of Team Rocket and our equivalent Destined Rival set to be officially revealed this week. They will release on April 18th and May 30th. But all right, let's get to it here. We got Surging Sparks Booster Box coming down in price just a little bit. Got up to about $265. Now last sold $249, $232, $249, $250 down there. Next, we got Twilight Masquerade coming down a little bit. Got up to $233. Now last sold $217, $217, $217. Next, we got Evolving Skies. Got up to $1,383. Now last sold $1,307, $1,230, $1,235, $1,290. Next, we have the Greninja EX Special Illustration Collection. This box got up to $82. Now last sold $74, $72, $70, $68, $70. Next, we have the Kingdra EX Special Illustration Collection. Got up to about $59. Now last sold $54, $52, $52, $53, $50. Next, we have the Prismatic Evolutions Mini Tin display coming down in price a little bit. Was at $269. Now last sold $203, $217, $210, $210, $185 with a picture down there. Next, we have the Prismatic Evolutions 2-pack. This was at $35. Now last sold $29, $25, $28, $26, $25, $25, $18. That's pretty good. $18 is a very solid price. Probably got to pay shipping on that, but still not bad. All right, let's get to some cards. We got the Giratina V alternate art. Got up to $711. Now last sold $426 for a lightly played, otherwise $550 with a picture, $612, $689, $600, $690, $605. Next, we have the Gengar V Max alt art. Got up to about $750. Now last sold $684, $675, $699, $668, $600, $560 down there. Next, we have the Celebi V alternate art from Fusion Strike. This card got up to $68. Now last sold $55, $55, $49, $51, $48. Next, we have the Mew V alternate art. This card got up to $80. Now last sold $60, $59, $65, $75, $49 for moderately played. Next, we have the Umbreon V Max. We have a couple new high sales for this card randomly, but it was at $1,760. Now last sold $1,000, and then we got one at $15 with a picture, and then we got 3 in a row at $19.99. So 3 of them at $2,000, which is just strange, and then another one at $1,800 with a picture, another one at $1,000 without a picture, which is also kind of strange. You know, we got these 1,000 ones sprinkled in here. Then we got a heavily played one with a picture, but tons of weird sales for this card right now. Next, we have the Umbreon EX from Prismatic Evolutions, finally dropping in price. Was at $1,600 for a while. Now last sold $1,450, $1,444, $1,440. Someone bought 2 of them at $1,550. It's a baller. Next, we got the Espeon EX from Prismatic. Just coming down in price a little bit. Got up to $430. Now last sold $399, $398, $389, $401, $390. So that's good to see. Next, we have the Pikachu EX, and we're going to be checking a ton of graded cards at the end of this video. We're also going to be checking Heatwave Arena cards and some Journey Together cards. This is definitely the biggest Falling Friday that I've done in a while. So Pikachu was at $487. Now last sold $375 for a lightly played, otherwise $442 with a picture, $420, $419, $419, $400 with a picture, $380, $465 with a picture. Next, we have the Latias EX from Surging Sparks. Was at $255. Now last sold $210, $238, $200, $205, $198. Next, we have the Alolan Executor from Surging Sparks. Just keeps slowly falling. Last sold is $55, $55, $55, $70, $67, otherwise mostly at $55. Next, we have the Tropicos EX from Stellar Crown. Again, this was $86. This one just keeps slowly falling. Now last sold 67, 69, 68, 74, 70, 69, 69. Next, we have the Grid Ninja EX from Twilight Masquerade. This is the lightly played chart. So there's a near mint one. Got up to $412. Now last sold 380, 365 with a picture, 362, 364, 363, 350. Next, we have the Bubble Mew EX from Paldean Fates. Got up to $415. Now last sold 340, 349, 365, 350, 329 with a picture. A ton of these have pictures. That's good to see. Next, Charizard EX from Paldean Fates. I really feel like TCG players should make you put pictures on cards that are, I don't know, $20 or more. Like, I feel like that should be mandatory. Sucks for uploading, like it's much slower, but still, I don't care. I want to see the card. So here's the Charizard from Paldean Fates. Got up to $216. Now last sold 196, 165, 240, 210, 190, 188 with pictures. Next, we have the Charizard EX from 151. Got up to $293. Now last sold 215 with pictures, 239, 239, 249, 255, 249. Next, the Alakazam EX from 151. Got up to $57. Now last sold 44, 47, 62, 47, 59, 53. Next, we have the King Gambit. This is the promo from the collection box. This was at $4.36. Now last sold 295, 150, 6 of them at 289. Another one at $3. Next, we have the Giratina V-Star from Crown Zenith. Was at $215. Now last sold 208, 210, 196, 189, 188, 189. Back under $200. Another one at 186. What can we get it shipped for? We can get it shipped for $191. Next, we have the Arceus V-Star coming down in price just a little bit. Got up to $137. Now last sold 118, 119, 119, 118, 115, 110 with a picture. Next, we have the Drowsy illustration rare. This thing is just still falling. Got up to $81. Now last sold 38, 38, 37, 37, 49, 38, 16, but that's Japanese. Next, we have the Baxcalibur, same exact thing. Got up to $54. Now last sold 24, 23, 31, 23, 21. Next, we have the Slowpoke illustration rare. Got up to 42. Now last sold 25, 24, 25, 25. Next, the Iron Moth. This got up to $28. Now last sold 13, 12, 11, 13, 15. Next, we got the Larvitar illustration rare from Obsidian Flames. Got up to about $8. Now last sold $419, $346, $340, $346, $399. Next, we have the Mabastiff illustration rare. Got up to $9.23. Now last sold $472, $580, $575. Next, we have the Bramblin illustration rare from Paldea Evolved. Got up to about $10. Now last sold $5, $472, $6, $5, $974, $6. Next, we have the Pidgeotto illustration rare from Obsidian. Got up to about $10. Now last sold $543, $514, $770. We're kind of checking some of the cheaper ones here. We got the Bravery here from Surging Sparks. Got up to $14. Now last sold $550, $1086. 4 of them at $12. Another 2 at $8.99. But this is why I say don't buy cards when they are already hyped up. You know, unless it's like for your personal collection and you just need it and you can't wait, then do whatever. But if you're trying to invest in a bunch of cards that have already gone up a couple 100%, odds are they are going to retrace. Like, we have years of data to back that up. But I know there's some content creators out there too that make it seem like they're not going to drop in price, or, you know, they'll go up because it's in a video. So you got to keep that in mind. But all right, next we got the Slitherwing from Paradox Rift. Got up to $21, lasted like 2 days. Now that sold $750, $741, $840, $13. But you got to think about it. If someone bought this card basically from $13 to $20, you know, they're going to lose money. You can get it shipped right now for $8.23. Next, we have the Houndour, same exact thing. Got up to $33. Now last sold $948, $8, $931, $775, and $10. Next, we have the Execute illustration rare from Surging. Got up to $17. Now last sold $1043, $960, $925, $755, $759. Next, we have the Paldean Wooper from Paldea Evolved. Got up to $21. Now last sold $790, $1025, $923, $8, $799. Next, we have the Dondozo. I do really like this card. Looks like a painting. Got up to $17, now last sold 1070, 12, 14, 11, 12. Model you played at 5. Next, we have the Pyroar from Paldea Evolved. Also kind of looks like a painting. Got up to $16. Now last sold $9.90, 10, 10, 9 with a picture. Next, we have the Scizor from Obsidian Flames. Got up to $18. Last sold 12, 10.50, 11, 9, 10, 9, 10. All right, we're going to hop to eBay and check out some Journey Together recently sold listings. We got the Volcanion EX Special Illustration Rare sold for $70. Iono's Bellybolt sold for $230. Salamence at $216, which was on auction. We got something graded already. Wow, that's pretty early. From AGS as a 10 of the Lily's Clefairy EX Full Art, $202. Volcanion at $70. We got the Lily's Clefairy Special Illustration Rare at $525. Another one at $575. Iono's Bellybolt at $220. Volcanion at $61. Another Lily's Clefairy at $580. We got the Zoroark Special Illustration Rare at $230. Volcanion at $76. Hops Zacian is at $140. Another Iono's Bellybolt at $200. And Zoroark at $250. Wow. Another Lily's Clefairy, $544 best offer accepted. Another Salamence here at $280 best offer accepted. Salamence at $240. Lily's Clefairy at $600. Salamence at $250. Lily's Clefairy at $439. And another one at $585. So prices are all over the place for that card, probably depending on condition. Super cool. I like the set. Very excited to get that Salamence and Volcanion in hand. So checking out some illustration rares. We got the Wailord, last sold $45. Articuno, $70. Another Articuno at $65. Iono's Kilowattrel, $35. Articuno, $75. Wailord at $70. Now, I love that Wailord card, but I did not think it would be close in value to the Articuno, to be honest. So I have a feeling the Wailord will probably drop pretty hard. We are talking pre-release prices. Next, we got the Hops Wooloo at $40. There we got a Wailord at $50. We got the Reshiram at $78. Anything else? We got the Lily's Ribombee at $39. We got the Maractus at $11. Pretty cheap. Furret at $20. I actually really like that card. Another Maractus at $16. Reshiram at $70. Another Iono's Kilowattrel at $59. Yeah, that's about all I am seeing. Here's a Noibat, which has also super cool art, $20. And then a couple Furrets at $22. All right, next, checking out some Heatwave Arena. Here's the art rares. We got the Electrike at $3.99. Misty's Lapras at $19. The Typhlosion at $41.99. Another one at $25. We got the Misty's Lapras at $20. Typhlosion at $24, $23. We got the Rotom at $5. Misty Psyduck at $35 shipped. Shaman at $15. Then we have a Misty Psyduck. Says US seller sold for $50, which is pretty crazy. Cynthia's Roserade $35. Typhlosion $35. Shaman $12. Another Misty Psyduck at $45. And that card was selling for like $20 to $25 as soon as it came out. Another Typhlosion at $35. We got all 12 of them at $128. Arvin's Greedent at $5.25. Cynthia's Roserade at $20. Anything else? Couple more Misty Psyducks at $50. Wow. There's a Rapidash, $20 and $8.99. 7. Hydrabble at $9. We got the Crustle at $10. Next, we got the special art rares from Heatwave Arena. We got Ethan's Adventure at $70. Cynthia's Garchomp at $350. Ethan's Ho-Oh at $175. Yanmega at $27.50. A couple more Garchomps at $240. Another one at $350. $275. Ho-Oh at $180. Another one at $180. Arvin's Mabostiv at $20. Ethan's Adventure $64. Yanmega $27. And that is about it. All right, checking out some PSA 10 prices on a ton of Scarlet and Violet era cards. Pretty much got a card or two from each set that is coming down in price. So the Pikachu EX is finally below $1,000. Last sold in the 10, $920. And then we got $1,000, $910, $979. But we have quite a few sales in the low 900s, basically right at $899. Next, we have Latias EX also coming down still. Last sold in the 10, $550, $500. $519, $565. And the 9, the 9s are going to be basically the same price as raw, $200. Next, we have the Milotic EX, still falling. Last sold $399, $335, $340. This card was selling for $600 for a while. Next, we have the Gold Pikachu EX. This was at $12.50 on release and has just been slowly falling. Now last sold $265, $228, $222, $247, $257, $265. Still doing much better than I thought, honestly. I mean, for just a gold card like that, doing pretty good. But it is in a set that's pretty tough to find, and booster boxes are pretty expensive, so that's definitely one of the reasons. Next, we have the Hydreigon from Surging. A ton of Surging cards are coming down. Last sold in a 10, $192 for that card, and another one at $192 and $190. Next, we have the Squirtle from Stellar Crown. Got up to $295 in a 10 in February 2025. Now last sold $256 and $240. Next, we have the Persian illustration rare from Shroud of Fable. Got up to $385. Now last sold in a 10, down here a little bit, $319. And we got another one at $299. Next, we have the Houndoom from Shroud of Fable. Got up to $267. Now last sold in a 10, $225. $203, $299. That's a pretty high one. Next, we have the Eevee illustration rare from Twilight. Got up to $356. Now last sold at a 10, $222, $256, $257. Next, we have the Bubble Mew EX from Paldean Fates. Got up to $1,066. Now last sold in a 10, $830, $850. Next, we have the Bubble Mew EX. This card got up to $1,066. Now last sold $830, and we have another one at $850. Quite the drop for that card. Next, we have the Charizard EX from Paldean Fates. Got up to $625. Now last sold $550, $470, $490, $477. Next, we have the Gardevoir from Paldean Fates. Got up to $298. Now last sold $275, $239, $250, $245, $254. Next, we have the Altaria EX from Paradox Rift. Got up to $260. Now last sold $202, $225, and $215. Next, we have the Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames. Got up to $430. Now last sold $386, $370, $380, $375. Next, we have the Ninetales illustration rare from Obsidian Flames. Got up to $342. Now last sold in a 10, $250, $261, $250. Next, we have the Magikarp from Paldea Evolved. Got up to $1,520. Now last sold in a 10, $1,164, $1,375, $1,260. We got a bunch of 9s at $232, $295, $300, $300, $237. Tons of 9s. Another 10 at $1,276 and $1,210. And last on the list, we have the Drowsy illustration rare from Scarlet Violet base set. Got up to $776. Now last sold in a 10 is $642, $624. And do we have any other 10 sales? Not a ton of 10 sales on here, but still a pretty good drop. I mean, that's almost a $150 drop for that card. So that was today's Pokemon Flying Friday. If you guys do see anything dropping down in the market, please let me know. It helps out so much. And if you guys like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. And if you guys want to check out my Instagram or my YouTube membership, it's only 99 cents a month. And I'm about to do another huge giveaway with Collectr very, very soon. So stay tuned and make sure you check out my Sunday videos. I'm going to be doing a giveaway every single Sunday. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you want to watch my last Pokemon Throwback Thursday, which was a super good one, and if you guys like Market Monday, you guys will definitely like Throwback Thursday. Click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.